What are you doing in my office, Dex?
Winning.
If you had told me a year ago at this time that one of the largest and most influential commentary channels, WillyMacShow, would become fully compromised towards the disgraced political streamer Destiny, I would have thought that you were crazy. But since the beginning of the year, I've begun to see that WillyMacShow is either controlled opposition for Destiny or just too stupid to function in the commentary community without defenders like Nicholas Diorio or Tommy C. I'm not sure if Willie is consciously or unconsciously biased in Destiny's favor, but the more you look into his coverage, the more evident this bias becomes. In my opinion, Willie went very soft on Destiny in his original video covering his allegations of non-consensually sharing intimate audio and video recordings. Willie did discuss the Pixie allegations, but he barely swept over major accusations from Cherry. Cherry's allegations that Destiny secretly recorded her without her consent are widely considered to be the second most damning behind Pixie's, but Willie barely gave these allegations the time of day in his original video.
One girl even claimed she filed a police report on Destiny for secretly recording them having sex, which if true is such a violation of another person's privacy. I genuinely hope he faces criminal consequences for it.
Additionally, Willie insisted on spreading misinformation on Kelly Jean and Lav by airing Destiny's statement with no fact-checking. Willie prided himself about how he reached out to everyone.
I want to preface this video by stating that I was the only one that reached out to everyone involved in this story.
But he didn't think to reach out to the people that Destiny was using his platform to make allegations against. There was also a very strange part of the video where Willie stopped everything to talk about how he respects Destiny for how he actually debates people in the online politics community.
Destiny and I were not friends. However, I have a lot of respect for him. He's the only major creator in the political space that I have covered that actually looks stuff up, reads first-hand information, and directly engages with his critics.
I think this is a strange thing to do when talking about how Destiny violated people's consent and committed several sex crimes. Willie would never stop a Vosh or Hassan video to talk about how he respects them. For someone who is supposedly an apolitical guy, Willie seems to agree with Destiny on pretty much everything. I would argue that Destiny is a far worse person than Hassan, at least maybe not Vosh because he might actually be a pedophile. I'm still yet to hear any real allegations against Hassan Piker besides the fake Lav allegations that even Destiny told her not to run.
When Lav was trying to leak shit about this on stream, the reason why I told her not to say anything was because I'm pretty sure, 99% sure, that her story is bullshit. That's why I told her not to, because she's gonna get in a whole bunch of trouble if she does it. I just don't want to sit on my stream because one, however much I hate Hassan, I'm not gonna let some stupid make false rape accusations about him on my stream. That's disgusting. And two, because for her safety, she's gonna get in a whole bunch of trouble if she's out here telling wild lies.
And the fake Diddy Party allegations by Dan Saltman and DGG. This is funny considering that Dan Saltman was the founder and creator of the Tiny Chat platform, which received funding from P. Diddy before he used the site to talk to multiple underage girls. This seems like a bit of projection to me. You can politically align with someone and still agree that they're a horrible and worthless person. I agree with a lot more of what Destiny has to say politically than Hassan or Vosh, but I still think that he is a degenerate sex pest that should be shunned and excommunicated from all friendly spaces online. I don't think other creators should give this guy a platform to try to redeem his own image. Willie also spent almost half of his original video talking about President Sunday and Beckett for how they improperly handled the Pixie allegations and released them without her consent. These two do deserve criticism for how they handled this, but it's a bit excessive to devote almost half the video to these two when Willie could have easily delved much deeper into the actual Destiny allegations. I believe that these Pixie allegations were going to blow up eventually anyway. First of all, they leaked on Kiwi Farms months earlier and were kind of like an open secret in the community. Lots of people knew about what happened, but nobody really wanted to talk about it. Also, once people like Hassan and Bad Empanada started talking about the allegations, it was only a matter of time before they blew up in some way.
That Destiny cocked him. His girlfriend cheated on him with Destiny. His girlfriend, who of course, in the first place was someone who he met because she was like a Destiny orbiter, and then she cheated on him with Destiny, and that is the reason why he's quitting. That's the actual reason.
The truth is his girlfriend cheated on him due to Destiny leaking his revenge, I assume, because he didn't defend hard enough. I don't want to know any of this stuff.
It just seems awfully convenient for Destiny's sake that Willie would spend almost half of his big anti-Destiny video talking about how some of Destiny's biggest critics aren't to be trusted and are malicious too. Willie and Destiny also hung out in real life together. They recorded an episode of the Anything Else podcast, and they did the IRL election stream together. The fact that less than a year ago, Willie was actively flying across the country to hang out and stream with this guy could definitely impact his ability to fairly cover and critique him. They were at the very least colleagues on friendly terms, despite Willie's claims that they were never actually friends. It seems very obvious to me that Willie could end up even subconsciously giving Destiny the benefit of the doubt in his coverage and not going as hard on him as he ultimately should. Whenever controversy surrounding Destiny arises, Willie will rarely outright condemn him, and in the instances when he actually does condemn him, he will always make sure to drag in another political creator to make a show about how Destiny may be bad, but these other guys are bad too, to ultimately just deflect some of the criticism away. If you want a more recent example of Willie not being able to condemn Destiny for something outright while participating in that same behavior himself, look at his Twitter meltdown over the last few weeks. To explain the story, WillyMac falsely accused Dickers and JStalk of doxing him when Destiny was the one who actually spread his doxed information. At 1:19 p.m. on July 22nd, Willie replied to a tweet containing a dox of what is allegedly JStalk's face. He said, "As someone who was doxed many times recently and has had it spread very rapidly, I think people should respect JStalk's ask for privacy when it comes to his face. We both should talk to each other, but we've left it on the internet. I don't like seeing it spread. Not necessary at all." And this is a very reasonable position for anyone who's anti-doxing. I very much agree with this sentiment. But at 1:43 p.m., not even half an hour later, Willie Mac changed his stance, saying, "I actually completely take this back, as I am currently seeing JStalk retweet my docs, my bride's docs, and the location that we are going to be at. LMFAO, very based." Now, if this were true, it would be insane. I would completely disavow JStalk and believe that no one in this community should ever platform him again if he were just outright retweeting Willie and his fiance's names and address. But that's not actually what happened. Destiny was actually the one who quote tweeted a tweet that contained doxed information on Willie Mac from Bad Empanada. Dickers then posted a screenshot of this Destiny tweet to point out his hypocrisy in saying that he supports any actions against Bad Empanada and his associates for doxing, while simultaneously calling for Queeman and JStalk to be doxed and killed for the great crime of criticizing him.
JStalk is doing this. Queeman is sort of doing this, where there's DMs about you saying like, "Hey, I wish this person been doxed yet?"
Yeah, for Anna, that's bullshit. For Jessica and Queeman, I'd kill him if I could. I'd choke their fucking house and do it. But not for Anna, no.
I've seen Destiny trying to slander these two as doxers lately. He wants to create this community narrative about how it's okay to dox them because they're doxers himself.
Using spicy chat for separation, too. Using spicy chat for separation for the bad behavior. Jessica and Queeman, etc. talk like 10 times more there than even their own community, and all of the biggest Kiwi Farm-esque psychos are there as well. For example, they were recently posting pics of I mean, I guess I'll say it, it's sad, but Willie is getting married, and they've been like posting pictures of his wife and shit, and then joking about how he got honeypotted by the IDF. And then 3, then Queeman and Justical can forever act above it, but a large core of their fan base exists in and around spicy chat. They can indefinitely call doxing bad and pretend that Willie is crazy, while ostensibly the core of their community is directly part of it. And I guess Chud Logic just doesn't care about any backlash or having it attached to his server. He's pretty much like Joshua Moon in that sense. Null, sorry for doxing you.
This is very funny because Destiny has openly supported and campaigned for sites like Kiwi Farms that host doxes. When he was fighting Keffels in 2022, he said that he wanted to bankroll Kiwi Farms so she couldn't shut them down.
How much do you think the monthly cost for Kiwi Farms are? I thought about actually doing I thought about donating, but there's like so much to consider for that.
This is an outright endorsement of the website and their practices. He also encouraged people from his chat to talk about Anavoir in her Kiwi Farms thread when she was having a mental breakdown. It seems like WillyMac has been used to further this false narrative, proving that he either is really stupid and just took Destiny's word that JStalk was doxing him, or this is some sort of controlled opposition to redeem Destiny's image. In the tweet that Dickers posted, you can't see any of Willie's doxed information. I've censored this to be safe, but the most you can see is a joke about one aspect of Willie's dox, which is something you would never understand if you didn't seek out his whole dox. And this led to a complete meltdown in reply to Alex Gekmo, who called out Willie for his inconsistency and for trying to propagate this false narrative against JStalk. Willie claims that Destiny initially tweeted this to condemn Bad Empanada for doxing him, so he didn't care as much. But Destiny still did spread this information much farther than Dickers, JStalk, or even Bad Empanada himself ever could, and he seems very reluctant to address this. This is actually how I saw Willie's docs. Destiny put it right on my timeline. Willie then claims that Dicker's tweet had his full name, his fiance's full name, and his address. But if you look at the screenshot that he provided to prove this, none of that information is visible. This just isn't true. This inconsistency was pointed out by people in the community, leading to one of the most pathetic and spineless tweets that I've ever seen. Alright everybody, post my docs because Destiny has you all mind raped. Spoken like somebody who isn't totally mind raped and compromised by Destiny. Willie will just worm his way away from any actual criticisms of Destiny. He just wants to point everything back to J-Stalk and Dickers in this scenario, probably because he's both being influenced by Destiny into believing that they are horrible people, and he's still upset that their community shit on his Destiny videos 7 months ago. Willie would rather freak out over someone that he doesn't like not doxing him than rightfully call out someone that he does like for spreading his docs way farther than it ever would have. Ironically, Willie ended up spreading J-Stalk's alleged docs far more than J-Stalk spread his. Initially, he replied to a tweet that featured a picture of what is supposed to be J-Stalk's face, which for someone who never did a public face reveal, this would cross well over into doxing territory. And this is actually far worse than what he's accusing J-Stalk and Dickers of, because he is directly linking to the dox material in his response. And just as I was making this video, Willie came back from a multi-day break from Twitter and immediately quote-tweeted a tweet of Destiny trying to dox J-Stalk. He just had to publicly reply to a 5-day-old dox to say how crazy it was that someone is getting doxed, which is almost exactly the same thing that he was initially accusing J-Stalk of. And the fact that this tweet was 5 days old when he retweeted it makes it seem somewhat malicious to me, like he was thinking about this the entire time that he was gone or something. He fortunately removed this after basically the entire community, but mainly Augie, called him out for signal boosting J-Stalk's docs, but I don't understand why WillyMac keeps having to make a fool of himself whenever Destiny is brought up. Willie really needs a course correction here. To me, it seems like he's being kept afloat by people like Tommy C and Nick Diorio, who are constantly bailing him out over and over again whenever he does something stupid like this. But even Diorio hasn't defended him here. I would say it's pretty much certain that Willie either has a personal or political bias towards Destiny, and at this point, I feel like even some of the biggest WillyMac defenders would agree with me on this. I think that he likes Destiny and Dan Saltman and would like to just inch his way back towards DGG by normalizing friendly interactions with them again. I think that Willie should either try to make an effort to be far more critical of Destiny or just avoid interacting with him and his community altogether if he really is just stupid and not compromised. But maybe that's just wishful thinking. Thank you for watching. If you liked this video, make sure to leave a like, maybe even subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, it's linked below and on the screen now.